We're back here today at this double nuke. We introduced the virgin queen into the bottom part of the nuke 10 days ago now. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out, where we start off by putting the virgin queen into the box overnight in a cage. We then released her into the bottom, and the history behind this box is in that video, but just to recap very briefly, we've got a queen right setup, which means we've got a queen actively laying in the top, and we put a queen excluder in here, and we inserted a virgin queen into the bottom with a frame of brood and bees in there, and the bees have been working as normal through the bottom. So we're checking today a couple of things in this box. I want to start by checking if the virgin queen has mated successfully, if she started laying, if we've got a brood pattern in the bottom there. That'll be one of the first things I want to check. Secondly, in the top chamber here that I want to be checking is that supersedure cell. It should be hatching in the next day or two. So if everything's going according to plan in here, we should have the new virgin queen that we introduced here will now be laying. If she is, we are going to switch these boxes around. I'm going to then put the main box at the bottom again, the top nuke at the bottom again with the existing laying queen and that supersedure cell, and then the newly mated queen will be going on top. The reason for that is if this supersedure cell is ready to hatch, that virgin queen needs to again come out and be able to go out and mate. So that'll be the reason for just switching the two boxes around again. I'm going to be working through these boxes quite quickly. We've had a lot of robbing around here lately. I've had a problem today again with the bees wanting to rob these little swarms here, as well as just been a problem around my honey facility here, and I've just had bees being a problem today. So I'm going to try and work through quite quickly. I trust that you'll be able to see and follow with me. I do apologize if I do move through quite quickly though. So we've got a lot to assess in this box, and I want to get through it as quickly as possible. We're also working a bit later today in the day. It's after 5 p.m. in the afternoon now, probably going to get closer to 5:30, and I really just want to get through these bees without disturbing them too much and without setting on too much robbing here. Okay, let's begin. I'm going to take this whole box straight off. I don't want this queen in the top to run down, so I'm going to just lift this box straight off with the queen excluder, and it's going to go straight onto the ground. Just going to put a little bit of smoke in here. That will encourage the bottom queen to stay down and the top queen to stay up. Not a lot of bees in the bottom box here. I'm going straight for the middle frame, because if there is brood, this is where I'd expect to see it. Packing in honey on this frame. All the old brood is hatched out. Actually see a queen cell here, just looking for eggs or young larvae. Lots of pollen though. This is the same box that I did the other video on with all the pollen. Look at the amount of pollen coming in there. Lots of pollen on that frame. So I'm just having a quick look to see if I see our queen, or if I see any young larvae or eggs. Not seeing any eggs in here, so we might not have a queen in here anymore. Just try and see if I can see her quickly. But you can see this is all just nectar in here. Yeah, that could just be an emergency cell that they've drawn there on the face of the comb, right here in the middle. Right, yeah. So that could just be an emergency cell that they drew because there was brood below the excluder after I put this virgin queen in the bottom. So I'm not gonna disturb them any further. I'm gonna close them up and let's have a look what's going on in the top. Okay, so I've left this just as is. I've put the queen excluder back and everything. I'm just going to open the top now and let's have a look at here. You can see this is where most of the bees are. This will be where most of the brood is. So starting on the end here, they started to draw this out quite nicely. I'm actually quite glad to see that. Bees are working quite nicely in the top at least. Really looking good. They've drawn that frame out nicely. So let's get that one just out the way for now. Lots of eggs in here. So there's still a really nice brood pattern here, nice honey crown along the top, but really nice brood. Just having a quick look to see if I see our queen as we go along. Okay, this was the frame that we put in. That was about 10 days ago now, so you can see the queen's laid it up fairly well. I'm not going to disturb these bees anymore. I'm going to just put them back as is. I just want to check on the next frame to see if we can find that supersedure cell. I know our queen is still in here. I know she's still laying well because I can see eggs inside those cells. And there's that supersedure cell. I still need to seal it up here. And it's packed with royal jelly, so that's going to be a good queen. Right, so we've got a couple more days before I need to do anything in here. That cell's not even sealed yet. They're going to probably seal it up tomorrow. So what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to close them up for now, and I feel I've messed with them enough for today, but knowing that that queen cell is still just not sealed, that gives us a bit more time. But what I'm probably going to do is just move everything back around because we've lost that queen at the bottom now. Okay, that didn't quite go as I expected, but that's how beekeeping is. It's not always exactly how you expect it. So our virgin queen that we put in here has not started laying. In fact, we've got an emergency cell that's been drawn off the face of the comb, and the stage of that cell, it's already developed, it's already capped. That tells me that they started that cell within days of us putting that virgin queen in. I'll definitely try this again. I won't rule it out, because they did accept her when we put her in, so I'm surprised that she went missing. And I don't think it would have been on her mating flight. It might have been, but at the stage of that queen cell, that tells me that they started that cell just around the time that we put our virgin queen in. So the timing's off. Into the top box though, our queen is still laying really well, but the bees are still insisting on superseding her. We've got a beautiful supersedure cell there. They haven't capped it off yet. to me like they'll cap it off in the next 24 hours or so. So I've just closed it up the way it is for now. I didn't want to expose these bees too long, but now that we know what's going on inside here, and I know I've got some time because that cell's still going to be a couple of days away from hatch. The other thing is this queen cell at the bottom, the emergency cell, is already capped. That queen cell is going to hatch a lot sooner than the one at the top. So I need to keep that in mind. So one of my next moves will be to actually remove that cell. I've got a day or so. If it does hatch, it's not a problem because I've still got the queen excluder in place. And then what I can do is I can sort through that box at the bottom. I can find the virgin queen and I can get rid of her. So I'm not too worried about that, but I will look to get into this box before that queen hatches, and then we'll be able to just reassess what's going on and allow that supersedure cell to hatch. Okay, that's it for now. We'll catch up again. Thanks for watching. Cheers.